head the TBEC Polar Research, Tropical Island Biodiversity, Ecology and Conservation Polar Research. The work we did was to study the ecology and conservation of a very rare species of plant endemic to Mauritius and in high threat of extinction, which we use as a model to reflect what is happening to the many other island plants around the world, like 6,800 plants on islands around the world are highly threatened of extinction. So what we found was like the threat besetting that species are much more complex than what the literature had recorded before. And we made our findings using very simple equipment like camera traps to look at flower visitors, the pollinators, who eats the flowers and eats the fruits and stuff like that. So understanding why the species has become extremely rare nowadays from a situation where it was abundant in the 1930s. So these results can be very interesting for understanding what is happening to many other plants around the world, because these are the plants which are threatened, are faced with very similar threats that what we have in Mauritius. So Mauritius can be used as a laboratory to understand the solutions to save this unique diversity in islands around the world.
The group, Computational Chemistry Group, focuses on the use of computational chemistry methods to solve chemistry and interdisciplinary problems. Nowadays, with the availabilities of fast computers, it is becoming increasingly possible to use computational and, of course, theoretical methods to solve the chemistry and interdisciplinary problems, as I mentioned. So what happened is that we have observed that a search of the literature indicates that lots of research have been done with respect to nitrogen compounds. But then we were surprised to note that with respect to the phosphorus compounds, the literature is limited. So we focused our research on the phosphorus compounds, provide the required parameters that may be helpful to the experimentalists for them to devise means and ways to synthesize these phosphorus compounds, which are becoming increasingly useful in the industry. It happened that all the parameters with respect to the Novichok agent, they have been kept secret. But then we use the theoretical methods which can be used to have the theoretical understanding of some of the parameters of the Novichok agents, and these parameters may be useful for the detection, destruction of these Novichok agents.
I studied the epidemiology of congenital heart defect in infants born from diabetic mother at the SSRN hospital in 2016. Our study showed that approximately 25% of women in our Mauritian population have diabetes, and the majority of them had gestational diabetes, that is, diabetes developed during their pregnancy. And among these patients, approximately 18% of their infant was born with a congenital heart defect. And among these congenital heart defects, 5% of them were cyanotic congenital heart defects, which means that the congenital heart defect requires immediate management.
My research has shown that the cesarean section rate of Dr. Chitu Hospital was 41%, which is way higher than the required WHO rate of 10 to 15%, and the indications for emergency cesarean sections was mostly for non-absolute indications. Vaginal delivery would have been possible had the international-based guidelines been followed alongside the availability of diagnostic tests such as fetal blood sampling and fetal scalp electrodes, so as to deliver by vaginal delivery compared to cesarean delivery, and this could have decreased the cesarean rate towards a more acceptable rate in the hospital.